Welcome, all you Wave On fans. And I've got another paddleboarder on the line here, Sam from SUP Pups. She's putting pups on SUPs, and she's super passionate about what she does, teaching owners how to balance with their dogs. And I'm excited to have her on the show, and we have a great conversation. She is in the perfect setting. So if you have YouTube, go to YouTube to watch this episode because she's got Jack with her on her board. She's in San Diego, palm trees. It's the first paddleboarder I've had actually record from their paddleboard. I wish I could do that. I'm the host. I want to record from my paddleboard. How fun is that? Anyway, classes are going great so far, and we're kicking into the 4th of July weekend, so the weather is going to turn out to be awesome coming up July. We just did a boards, bar, and brunch, actually, and we had a really decent turnout with people at their own SUPs, bringing their own boards out, and it was a great time. We've got 2 more dates of that added. There's going to be a July 25th is the next one, and then the August date is the 29th. So both dates are a Sunday. It's a perfect Sunday morning to spend empowering women and joining in a community and getting out on the water, enjoying Mother Nature. So be sure to check that out on lunamoonSUPyoga.com. And I've got some merch up there and the lip balms, SPF. Use your code LUNA10 if you want to save on that. Go check it out. And I am looking forward here. Let's dive into the episode number 30 here with Sam and SUP Pups. Oh, how awesome. Look at this view. Sam, thanks for being on the podcast. This is amazing. If you get to watch this on YouTube, you'll get to see the background, and she's got Jack on the paddleboard with her. Yeah, Sam from SUP Pups in San Diego. How are you? Thanks for being here.
I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you for having me. I think this is my first live, web podcast that I've done.
Perfect. Well, yeah, this is fun here. We've got I in the background. I haven't had one that's this interesting, I feel like.
Really? Thank you. I was like, I was gonna be at work anyways. I have a lesson later on this morning, so I was like, you know what? I'll just go sit on a board and bring my dog and.
That's
amazing. Give you guys a feel of what I do, where I teach, and everything.
I love it. I haven't been to San Diego in a while. It's been a few years, but I did my paddleboard training in San Diego, and I think when I came home, I found you on Instagram. And I'm like, really? Yeah. There's someone, teaching, lessons with the dogs on boards, and I was just there, and I missed it.
Yeah, it's I know it's funny because I try my best to just, get myself out there, but mainly it's Instagram has been my main kind of marketing tool because, I take these dogs out and, I ask the owner what's their paddleboard experience, how's their dog around the water, and then, okay, what's your dog's Instagram? And all these dogs have their own Instagram. So that's kind of cool. And then they share on their pages and it just kind of gets the word out.
Wow. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's like amazing advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
I wish it was a little more easier for me like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing is people are puppies. All these dog Instagrams have thousands of followers just because everyone, it's just a happy thing when you get on social media rather than being, terrible news and what's happening in the world. You can just get on and look at all these puppies. And then what I do is you get to see them getting outside, braving the water. Mm-hmm. With the pandemic, I've seen so many dogs now come and they have separation anxiety and they're not, they don't know how to interact with other dogs or people. So it's really cool to get them out and give them this opportunity to kind of learn a new skill and kind of show their owners what they can do with them.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah. I love it. So my dog is a husky named Luna. So I have Luna Moon stand-up paddleboarding, and she was on my board last night, but she will not stand like what Jack is doing. She wants back and forth up and down the board.
Yeah, and I get a lot of, hyper kind of bigger dogs, and that is definitely the case in the first, couple times you do it. And then still depending on the dog, you know, how long have you been paddleboarding, or has Luna paddleboarded with you?
Yeah, she will go, but
Yeah.
she's still young and kind of
Yeah.
hyper. So a lot of times I take her for a run and then I put her on the board with me. And it's funny, she will sit eventually, but she does a lot of back and forth from the front of the board to the back of the board.
Yeah. So when dogs do that, I always tell you, I'm like, okay, now shut your knees. Like, don't let the dog go behind you.
Yeah.
Cause I used to let Jack do that. And he loves, I mean, he's, you know, it's funny because he's not a water dog.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people are like, oh no, my dog will never do it. They hate the water. I'm like, then please bring them. Those are the easier clients. The
Yeah.
dogs who, you know, rather just stay with you. But Jack, he'll see a bird or a sea lion and he'll want to jump in and go get it. So I've taught him just to stay on the board with, like, in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Won't let him go behind me. And then I've utilized certain tips. Like, I'll use my blade of my paddle, block his chest if he wants to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, nope, you're still here with me. Or for most people who have dogs that like keep jumping in or moving around, you can utilize the leash and like put it under your knee.
Okay.
Or stand on it. Never like put it on your wrist because you don't want it to get caught if you pull them in, or vice versa. But yeah, dogs are funny. Or it becomes doggy boot camp and they just love to swim, and then
Okay.
you let them chase you. And
Okay.
yeah.
And they can swim right where you're at, right?
Yeah, so this whole waterway is really nice. It's behind Liberty Station, Point Loma,
Mm-hmm.
and it is all a no wake zone. And at the very end down there, it turns into a dead end, and it's a military marina.
Mm-hmm.
So we barely get boat traffic, and if we do, it's under 5 miles an hour. So it's a really awesome location, and then you can just launch right off the beach.
Oh,
So,
perfect. Cool. So
yeah.
that's your spot. That's where you
Yeah.
have classes and then people meet you there and you've got the boards.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep. And then I work with the way I run my business is I partner with rental companies.
Okay.
So then when we partner together, I utilize their permit so I can legally work on the water, as well as utilize their boards. And then we partner together so they help promote me. And then after my lessons, I say, hey, you know, you've done great. You don't need another lesson. Now you can just come back and rent from them.
Oh, wow.
And so we kind of partnered together.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love hearing everybody's different way of how they do their paddleboard business. You know, everybody's depending on location or just, you know, if like yours is very unique, you know, doing the whole piggybacking back and forth with one another. That's perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I know a lot of companies in San Diego that will start a business and work on the water, but you legally have to have a permit. And in San Diego, a lot of the waterways are like reservoirs.
Yeah.
So they only allocate a certain amount of permits in the city. And you have to have a storefront. So I just, you know, dealing with dogs and the liability, I just don't want to, I want to do everything by the book.
Okay.
And so that's kind of a loophole in a sense of how I can work. And then, you know, I'm all about just the paddle community. How can we all work together? How can we just, you know, help people fall in love, as well as the proper technique and the safety? And so, you know, kind of go more into that. Like, not only do I just teach your dog how to paddleboard, but for you, I go over terminology. I go over the safety. Okay, what you do if you fall off, if a boat comes by, what to do. And then also all the times everywhere, you know, it gets windy, and I have a lot of back problems and wrists. I've, you know, through the years hurt myself. So I help, you know, mainly women. Okay, this is the proper technique on how to use your whole body to grow through the water than just your arms in case you get stuck in the wind. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That is a big thing for, like you just said, with the whole wind thing and arms and whole body. And I try to do that too. I mean, you do that, you say those things, but it's like sometimes that stuff gets kind of lost. Like if they come back to you the second time, you know, like what's the coaching step for the next time when you still notice that you could use some more of your body?
Yes. Yeah, definitely go more into that. How to gain more speed. If so, you know, then I can go more. I love, like, I'll get some clients and they love it. They're like, this is awesome. Okay, what's the next step? I'm like, let's go in the open ocean. So we
Okay.
can go in San Diego, you can go out of the South Mission jetty that goes out to the ocean. So you don't have to go through waves. You feel more of that open ocean feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then next step, I don't do it with dogs, but paddleboard surfing is, kind of up and up in San Diego. So that's really fun to get out and kind of learn how to catch some waves too.
I have seen
So,
that. That's that
yeah.
I don't know how they do that, but I mean, is there someone teaching that around in the area too, or?
I don't promote it as a business, but I do promote it as, I love to meet new friends.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my clients, they become kind of, in a sense, like friends to me.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, hey, if you want to go, I'll go with you.
Sure.
I'm always looking for someone to paddle with, especially out in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So I do know there are a couple businesses that do offer it, the paddleboard surfing. Not necessarily with dogs, because that's just, I don't know. That's we
Yeah.
had the surf dog competitions here, but
Yeah.
I would have to be way more knowledgeable as like a surf instructor,
Yeah.
which maybe, down the road might be another step to do. But
Yeah.
for now, it's just for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's super cool. He just sits and hangs out. That is so unique.
Yeah.
He's just
He
like
just,
watching.
he's like a hunter. So
Uh-huh.
he loves to look for fish, or this whole area, I
Uh-huh.
always say, is infested with squirrels. There's a
Uh-huh.
ton of squirrels all along the waterway, and he just hangs out. He's just a good
Oh.
guy. Have
Oh, that's so
fun.
great. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, people, you said mainly Instagram, maybe Google. Would they Google search
Yep.
something like this?
Google, definitely like paddleboarding with your dog. They'll find me, or like through the San Diego Tourism Authority, like, oh, what to do in San Diego with your dog.
Okay.
There's also that really prominent site called Bring Fido.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of people, I have an ad on Bring Fido. So it's like an activity in San Diego that you can do with your dog. And then I do like a referral program.
Yeah.
So if you've done a lesson with me and you get a friend to sign up and they want you to tag along, you're allowed to tag along for free.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I get a lot of word of mouth as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How did you start this business? Where did this evolve from?
So I'm from Arizona, and I grew up since I was like 5 years old going to the lake. So every weekend we'd be on the water, wakeboarding, skiing. And so I just loved always the feeling of being on the water. And then in college, I got my degree in tourism management. And so I knew I wanted to move to San Diego. I knew I wanted to work on the water. So I got a job at it was mainly like a jet ski rental company. We
Okay.
did tours. They had paddleboards. We had kayaks. And it's funny, I've never really been on a paddleboard before. I moved here in like 2013.
Yeah.
And so I got on the board. I was like, this is amazing. They wanted to do lessons. So I got certified to become an instructor.
Mm-hmm.
And then on my off day, I took Jack, and
Mm-hmm.
he loved it. And I was like, and I've always been obsessed with dogs, always.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, well, I could teach people with dogs. And so I just made it up as like a little meetup, made little flyers. So on meetup.com, it was like $35, come out with your dog. And I started taking some friends and started taking some people and kind of seeing how dogs reacted to the water. And through the year, I just started to develop this whole baby step system on how to get your dog on the board with you. And then when we go out, what to do if they jump in, and kind of, if they're freaking out, what to do. And through that, I've just developed this concrete system. I mean, every lesson's a little different,
Mm-hmm.
but I created this concrete system, and it works. And it's, I get you on first, then we get your dog on, I push you away. If your dog doesn't want to get on, I'll just squat and pick them up, put them on. But like, I try to let them do it themselves. You don't want to force the dog
Yeah.
into doing it. And I just, yeah. And so then I found, after that, I found out that this rental company over here in Liberty Station was hiring for a manager. And so I told them about my program about SUP Pups, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's so amazing. We've been looking for something like that." And they're like, "Let's just team up. Let's kind of, you work for us, we'll help you grow, you know." And then right before pandemic, I decided to make it all my own business and got a van, got all my own boards.
Nice.
And then now I just partner with them.
Sure.
So it's just, you know, an ever changing, ever growing business. Cause now it's like, okay, well now I can expand, because I get people coming down from LA. You did ask in your questionnaire, you know, a project I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
I get so many people that are like, "Hey, I'm never going to visit San Diego, but I really want to paddleboard with my dog."
Mm-hmm.
And now with COVID, this whole virtual world, so I'm working on a virtual SUP Pup lesson.
Cool.
Where you're going to get all the tips, everything. And then you can sign up, get my monthly new tips, or, you know, I can help set you up with where to find paddle boards. Like this paddleboard I'm on right now is brand new and I'm so excited. It's huge.
Nice.
It's 12 foot by 36 inches by 6 inches thickness.
Yeah.
And I ended up putting, I think it was about a 60-pound dog with a mom and a dad. We're both on this board.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a very, very stable board. And, you know, for beginners with their dog, I just want people to feel confident and comfortable. I don't want them to be sinking. I don't, you know, so
exactly.
My goal is, get the biggest board possible. Then, you know, once you learn, then you can go smaller. But and then now I'm here and I'm just trying to expand and get the word out more about SUP Pups and try to help people fall in love with paddleboarding with their dog.
That's amazing. It's awesome. The virtual thing is also something I'm venturing into as well, because just, I guess, that opened the door. I mean, unfortunately, in a weird way, virtual became this open door because with everything that happened, and, you know, work from home or work through videos or things like that. So that I'll be excited to see you do that too, adventure off and do that. I know I even said something to someone in California, Northern California, about you, and I was like, I think she's actually working on a virtual thing. So if you can't make it down to San Diego, she'll work with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's cool. And the and then the other part that you were talking about with the whole growing part.
So that is another kind of thing I would love to do is, you know, because I'm a one-man show. I'm the only instructor. I have no one else helping me.
Same.
And and I love it. And I always tell people I'm selfish and I haven't hired yet because of that reason, because I just love taking people out. But I do need to expand. And so the whole model of partnering with rental companies is I want to go up to the coast, you know, say, you know, find a dog friendly location, a rental company, tell them about what I do. Hey, it's no fee on you. I just, you know, we work together. I pay you a fee. You let me store boards here. And then we work together. I put you on my website. You put me on your website, and we develop a program, a SUP Pup program under, you know, combined with your company. And then I help bring you more business by, you know, kind of same model. You learn how to paddleboard. Most of the time people are comfortable after that first time. Now you can come back and rent. So the idea is, you know, this winter, traveling up to the coast and seeing who wants to partner with me. Because, I mean, it does feel amazing. You know, I always ask, like, oh, where are you from? LA. I was like, oh, wow. They're like, yeah, we came down for this. Or, you know, we heard about you, so we just made it a staycation. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much remote. Like you can travel, like you're saying, because you have a camper.
So
or a van life.
So I have a van. I have a work van. It's a big Chevy white van that's gutted in the back. I do not live in it, no. But I also decided to do the trailer life. So I actually own a trailer.
Okay.
And I live at a trailer resort here in San Diego for 9 months of the year. For the summer, they kick all of us out so they can make more money with their tourists. But I do have that option if I wanted, this winter, if I wanted to travel up to Tahoe, stay there for a month, I could bring my trailer. So I can definitely be, I've always wanted to do SUP Pup clinics, like take SUP Pups on the road and drive, around the country would be really cool, and do clinics. So that is always, in the back of my mind of a goal that I would love to do.
That's awesome. And the whole fact that of building this whole community, whether it is US, Canada, or just now worldly, if people start to travel more now, that, building those connections, by even just like through this podcast, like, other paddleboarders like listening in and thinking, oh yeah, well, I might be doing van life too, and get to meet each other or something, even that aspect of, connecting and having that SUP community. It's pretty cool.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And then now the events are happening again. I have dabbled in paddleboard racing.
Cool.
So I've done a few races, and which I've gained knowledge from paddleboarding, some basics that I teach on the water. I've gained knowledge from the races. So I have maybe be going up to Tahoe August. There is a big paddleboard race up there. Yeah. And, it's just, it's gaining more, I want to be kind of like not just the SUP Pup girl, but kind of all around, like everything, like from racing to, I do attend some yoga classes. My friend here owns a yoga, studio on the water called Sun Chaser SUP. So her and I, we team up. I also do SUP socials. So when I teach people, they fall in love, either they have their own board or they're just looking for something to go do. They're like, okay, well, are there meetups? Are there, events? Like, what is there? Like, can I join? So I started SUP socials. Sorry, the planes here.
Yeah.
And so where I'll do like full moon paddles, or like sunset paddles. I do like SUP breed specific dog meetups. So I'll do a corgi SUP social. Oh. We'll meet on Fiesta Island and we'll get all these corgis out on boards. So because that's a huge thing here in San Diego, or all these breeds have these communities. So like Frenchies, there's always Frenchie meetups or golden retriever meetups. And so kind of honing in with them.
Okay.
And, and sometimes I'll give back. We do dog birthday parties. So it's, getting the word out, and that you can be outside, especially with the pandemic, getting outside, being active with your dog.
This is a funny question, but do you have people that are like, I don't have a dog and I don't have a paddleboard, but can I just come and like watch this?
I do. Or like, I do have some people that are like, I want to paddleboard with a dog. Like, I love that. I'm like, oh, take Jack. He'll go with anyone. He's so cute. Chill. He'll just hop right on your board.
That is so funny. I love it. Yeah. That's awesome for you. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. So that's another little venture in the winter that I would love to do is kind of team up with Airbnb experiences and offer where, hey, you're traveling to San Diego, but you don't have your dog, but you want to learn. Yeah. So you can learn with Jack. And Jack's a rescue dog, so kind of hone in on that. But yeah.
Do you work with a lot of rescue places in the area as well?
Yes. So I offer another thing called Adopt Me Paddles.
Okay.
So I reach out to these rescues and I say, hey, if you have someone who's fostering a dog and you need, you want to get the word out about them, the person who's fostering the dog is able to sign up for free, and I will take you out for like a 30-minute paddle. I'll take photos and videos of this dog that's up for adoption, show their personality, write a little story about them. I usually do reels on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're easier to share. And I try to promote these dogs and try to help them get adopted. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah. And then all these, now they do a bunch of, dog fundraisers. A lot of them are held at like breweries or restaurants. So I also will donate a free lesson for their raffle.
Okay. And I imagine you must have some private lessons as well. Maybe people one-on-one, and then some more of the group stuff that you were talking about.
Yeah. So mainly they're all private.
Oh, okay.
All my lessons are private. I don't do, if they are groups, then mainly everyone kind of knows each other in a sense. So like the corgi meetup, you know, maybe people don't really know each other, but they know there's going to be other corgis there. But for my SUP Pup lessons, they're all private. So it's like, you know, it's a lot of, you know, either, you know, a girl or a boy or a lot of couples. Or on Saturday, I had a group of 3 friends with their 3 dogs.
Okay.
Because when you work with dogs, it's a whole nother ballpark. And you just, you know, I know Jack, he's 13. And, you know, if I get a really rambunctious boxer, he's not going to want to be friends. He's just old and he's like not going to want to really play, you know, and I just don't ever want someone to feel uncomfortable if, you know, they sign up and their dog, you know, is skittish of a certain breed or something. And also, I just love making the paddleboard lesson a total experience for you. And you get all the photos, you get all the videos, and I'm with you hands down 100% of the time. And, you know, I'll get some dogs. All right, I'm playing again. I'll get some dogs, you know, and they catch right on. You know, I usually call it one and done. You go out in the water, you let go of your dog, they fall in, they're like, oh, nope, I don't want to do that. You pull them back on the board, they're like, okay, I'll stay here with you. Some dogs, it takes a few times. Yeah. So, you know, if I have a group lesson, then if I have to be with one person the more time than the other, I just want you to feel that you get the whole experience that you want. Right. And especially with that dog. So
yeah. Have you ever had a husky out?
Yes, many huskies. Yep, a lot of them. You know, it takes them 3 or 4 times to kind of really get the hang of it.
Yeah.
My one friend, she has a husky, and this dog has the most energy I've ever seen in the whole entire world. So we do doggy boot camp. So we come in this channel, and the dog swims and just chases us, and we just paddle, and the dog just swims behind us. And all the dogs will be in a life vest no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if they're the best swimmers, always have that dog in a life vest, because if they're big, it's easy to grab that handle and pull them up. And I've seen someone fall on top of their dog before.
Oh.
So you don't want that to be the case. And then also with small dogs, I've seen it twice in like 8 years. I've seen, you know, you're cruising, you have momentum. I have seen a little dog fall at the tip of the nose of the board and go under the board.
Oh,
I have seen that before too. And so if that happens, you know, the back paddle, I just tell the person, like, oh, whatever side you're on, just quick, take the water from the back of the board, push it to the nose, it will rotate your board so your dog does pop out. So always life vest. You never know what would happen, you know?
Wow.
So
yeah, I haven't thought of that, where the dog goes under because they're so little. So you're saying, pivot, have it, the board pivot, basically.
Just pivot real quick.
Yeah. 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 And those, are they inflatables? Or are they?
I use all hard boards. Unless it's for one of my like socials or like a dog birthday party, you know, where people are just wanting to get out, sit on the board, hang out with their dog. But all the boards I use are hard. I've had one incident in 8 years where a dog did attack my boards. It was a Rottweiler. She was adorable, but I think she just had so much anxiety. So she was on the board with the dad. We get that on the water. Instantly, the dog jumped in, came after the mom, and wanted to like either help the mom or think the board was a toy. And it just started eating my board.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So inflatables, I would hate for someone to just start sinking. So
Did they start sinking?
No, the board was an epoxy board, and it just had started. You know, of course, in Rottweilers, I've learned. So pit bulls get lockjaw, but Rottweilers, they can press down with their jaw as the strongest jaw. They can press down to like 1,500 pounds.
Wow.
And they're very, very strong jaws. So it was like a shark. eating my board.
Oh.
So a little bit of the nose of the board kind of floated away, you know,
Oh,
but
wow.
they were fine.
Oh
My
my
board,
gosh.
not so much,
Not so
but
much, yeah.
always, you know, business lesson learned. Now I've learned how to fix paddle boards.
Yeah,
So
that's true too.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's how long you've been doing? 8 years?
8 years.
And
Yeah.
you've probably had almost every breed.
Every breed. Seriously, I think every breed, every personality, every weight. Like, it's funny, I'll be on the boardwalk and I'll see someone with a Great Dane. I'm like, hey, I won't even charge you. Can you please come out? Because people think, oh, my dog's too big. I'm like, nah, let's get any dog. So I love just to like show people. So I'll take someone out for free just to like get photos and videos and show everyone else, like, hey, if you have a Great Dane, I mean, it depends on the board you're on, you know,
Yeah.
and then having that person, me, you know, if your dog falls in, I call it the T method, where you can like pull the board up and then the other person comes up sideways. And so I would be sideways, I'd be the top of the T, and then I have the person run their nose into my board, and then I press down on the nose of the board, and you can stabilize the board for that person. So when they go to just use both hands to pull up their big dog, I'm stabilizing their board for them.
Right.
So it's just nice to have, especially with big dogs, have someone there to help. Or I've seen, oh my gosh, so if someone has a big dog and we go out, my first thing, I'm like, hey, if both of you fall in the water at the same exact time, I always joke, it's like an airplane. Save yourself first, then save your dog. Because big dogs, when you both fall in, some dogs will come after, like, mom, help me, and they'll get on top of you, and then they're scratching the person. You know, and everyone wears an ankle leash, and you never know, the dog could get wrapped up in your leash. And there's no way with a big dog that you can push up a big dog onto a board. So I always say, like, you know, save yourself, then get your big dog up. But I'm always there to kind of help.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Especially that whole stabilizing thing. It's like when someone even falls off their board and they can't get back on. Like you said,
yeah, you probably dealt with that before.
Oh yeah, I've had to hold,
yeah.
you know, use like my arm strength and stabilize side to side that board so that they can try to get back on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's happened for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, anything can happen. I've had a lady get vertigo once on the board, and so her whole equilibrium was off, and she couldn't paddle. I had to have her lay down, and then I put the nose of her board on my board, and I paddled both of us back.
You towed her back. Yeah, that happened to me sort of once. They thought that it was starting to come on, and even like more like maybe a motion sickness type of thing.
Yeah.
The waves were too much. It went waves from a wakeboard boat, and then the waves hit the seawall and came back at us. So it made it like very just, you know, back and forth too much. So, but then she kind of was okay. She looked out at the horizon at a spot and just, you know, sat down and kind of took some breaths. Yes.
Breathers. Yeah, I always tell people that, like, when they stand up, because, you know, you're so worried about the dog on the board too, people just shake and their nerves are just going. So I'm always like, take a deep breath, you know, feel your toes, hug the board, try to relax your nerves. And
it's funny how we become as teachers and do it all the time, that we know about these things to tell people, but for us to have that feeling of like, when was the last time you felt that challenged, like with a board and like in the water and everything? I mean, it doesn't happen. For me, I would have to go out open ocean probably to have that feeling again. For me.
Here, oh my gosh, people, I'm like, don't ever look at my feet, because I'm sitting there and I like to just like turn around and walk on the board.
Yeah.
And, when I get that, I just got this brand new SUP surfboard. It is so small. It's light. First time I went on it, it was out in the waves and it was choppy that day. Oh my gosh, my legs, I was shaking the whole time. I was like, I would have to like stop and tell myself, I'm like, all right, Sam, you got this, calm your nerves. It's okay, you know? But yeah, it's cool to just still, as instructors, we've been teaching for so long. it's really nice to still, and that's why I like get out in the surf now, is I'm challenging myself, you know, and it helps me become a better paddleboarder and instructor, because then I'm learning all these new tricks as well.
Things,
and I can utilize that, when I'm, you know, and that's what I tell people, when wakes go, you know, when a boat goes by and creates a wake, I'm like, hey, best thing to do is, just like surfers go head on into that ocean, right at that wave, same thing. You turn your nose and you want to hit it head on. And I'll even show them, you know, I call it the tripod method. So when people stand up on a board with their dog, you're so uneasy. And typically you're supposed to tell them to put the paddle back into the water. And with people with big dogs, there's no way that's going to happen. So I tell them, put the paddle onto the board. And it acts as a third leg. It's like a stabilizer. And so when I tell people to hit the wakes, I'm like, hey, when you see a big wake, though, you want to keep your paddle in the water, because just like tripod, 3 legs, you're more balanced. When you put your paddle in the water, it acts like a kickstand and it can catch you. So you want, and then just like riding a bike, having that momentum will help better your balance. So I kind of use like my like surfing now knowledge to kind of put it into flat water.
Right. I've used that term, that biking term before too, you know, because it's like they stop. They think I got to stop. I'm like, no, just have a little momentum, just a little, you know, to keep yourself rolling like a bike. Sometimes I get a look like, oh, yeah. I didn't think of it like that.
You know, and I come up with the funniest terminology, because like, you know, I work with kids. Like my lesson in an hour or so is going to be a 15-year-old girl. And, you know, I like to kind of connect with them in some way. So like, you know, when you turn, you either call it the sweep, like, you know, you sweep the water away from the nose and you draw like a, you know, kind of a round. And that's how you turn without losing momentum. But I've developed as draw a rainbow. So if I say rainbow, you're just drawing a rainbow on the side of your board, and that will start to turn you. Yogis always say half moon. Draw
that's
half moon. I always say that too. But I like to say rainbow, because who doesn't like rainbows and puppies? So
that's so funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So you have a 15-year-old girl, and does she have a dog?
So the mom, I guess the mom has already done a lesson with me. So she signed up again and is going to bring her 15-year-old daughter with their 75-pound golden retriever.
Wow, that's a big dog.
So, yeah.
75 pounds.
And when I get when two owners walk up with their dog, instantly, I'm like, okay, who's starting with the dog? You know, the guy would be like, I am. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go out. And he is not going to understand why mom is not with you. So dogs freak out, like, Mom, where are you going? And if the dog is freaking out to get to the other owner, then I like to calm that anxiety. And granted, yes, we still want the dog to learn that they have to stay on the board. So we do board transfers. So my boards are made with this like rhino plasticky type material. They call it like a tough tech. And so you can pull the boards up right next to each other, and you want to stabilize the boards. You want to hold the boards together, and then your dog can hop from board to board. And once you teach a dog, and then it calms their anxiety. But then the funny part is, then he gets with mom, and then dad floats away, and he's like, oh, Dad. And then wants to be with dad. So you teach the dog the board transfer, and then they kind of want to go back to board. But then they start to learn, okay, we do board transfers. I don't have to go in the water. You know, I'll wait for mom to come up to me. So.
Oh, cool. Wow. That's interesting too.
Yes. Or you get 2 people, 2 dogs. Dogs typically want to be together. So then when I do lessons with 2 people, 2 dogs, usually the dogs end up on one board together the whole time.
Really?
Yes.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, it becomes musical chairs. We end up playing just musical chairs on the water with your dog, and they just hop board to board to board. So.
Does there ever become a time where the dog is like, I want my own board, and I just tow me?
I've had a dog pull. Oh my God, it was adorable. I took out 2 parents with their 2 daughters, and the daughters ended up sitting on the board. So one daughter was with the mom, one daughter was with the dad. Then they had an 80-pound lab. So we put the lab on one. But then the daughter wanted to be with the mom and the other girl. So I ended up having the mom, two daughters, and a dog on one board. But then the dog would jump in and he grabbed the leash of the board and he started pulling them. And he's like trying to bring them back to shore to safety. It was the cutest thing.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those big giant boards? They're like the megalodon giant board, and people can fit like, I don't know, 6 people or something crazy on it.
Yeah, so there is a local company here in San Diego called Isle. They're really well known, and you can order it online. They make the megalodon. They have 2 different sizes. They have a 12-foot one that's like 2-3 people. Then they have the larger one that fits like 6. And so with all these dog birthday parties and dog events that I do, I was like, I have to get one. So I ended up buying one. So I have like the 12-foot one. And I'm going to start offering where, you know, if people know that their dog is crazy and has separation anxiety, I'm like, let's take the big board out. We'll put both of the owners on the big board. Okay. And you can go with your dog. Nice. So I did purchase that. And then for Father's Day, for my boyfriend, I initiated him as like Jack's dad. And I set up a dinner on the water. So I put little tiny like beach chairs on the board with a little table with a sushi dinner. And then I had Jack wear like a little tux. And I surprised him and he came down and I paddled him and we had sushi on the water.
Now that's unique too.
Yeah, it was fun.
And that was really with the big board.
The big board. Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I haven't seen anything like that either.
And then that's how my mind works. Now I'm like, ooh, dinner on the water.
There you go.
I'm gonna start offering. But I don't know what dog. Because like Jack is so chill. Yeah. Like if you got a crazy dog moving on this board, your food would fall in the water. It just probably wouldn't work. No. So it depends on the dog.
Or some dogs might want to just have some of the dinner.
That too. Yeah, Jack was drooling. He was just like, if you go to my Instagram on SUP Pups, I made a reel of it. And you could just see Jack peeking on the side of him, just staring, just drooling, looking at the sushi.
That's great. Oh my gosh, I love it. Wow. Yeah. So you've had a ton of experiences and unique things, and you've seen all kinds of different dogs, even a Great Dane. Yeah. That's crazy.
Great Dane. From like I always tell people I've taught from like a little 5-pound. His name was Ponchu or something. I don't even know what breed he was. He was so small. To like Great Dane. I get Bernese mountain dogs a lot. I've had a Mastiff. Her name was Maggie, I think. She was adorable. And so I've seen it all. I've had dogs poop on the board. I've had it was a Frenchie pooped on the board. And then I had a dog get so excited when he jumped, he pooped.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it's so funny.
Wow. And then what do you do with that? Just
I was like, well, when I paddle, I kind of keep a little like fanny pack. Yeah. On. It has my chapstick. I keep my phone in it. So that way, because my whole lesson, I pull out my phone, I take a bunch of photos. And then I keep a little poop bag dispenser.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, she jumped and pooped. That's funny.
Yeah, I've seen it all. And then it is, because we work on the ocean, so many dogs kind of start to drink the water. Oh. Like, no, stop, please stop. I've had a couple dogs get diarrhea after the lessons because they just keep drinking that water.
Oh, no.
So I'll tell the owners, I'm like, okay, next time let's bring like a portable bowl. Yeah. Maybe put like a little bowl on the board. Mm-hmm. I used to have these one boards from Antidote. It's a company in Anaheim. They make these doggy paddle boards. And on the board, on the nose, the traction pad
Yeah.
is a paw print,
Yeah.
but one of the little paws is actually a bowl.
Oh, wow. That's smart.
So it is cool. I love the boards. They're so cute. But for my lessons, dogs kind of step in it all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're beautiful boards. And it is cool. Like if you have it as your own personal board and you go out for a
Yeah.
long cruise and your dog's thirsty, you're like, oh, I just pour water right here. So it is
Yeah.
a really cool thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then and then you don't
Yeah.
have to try to keep it like something steady on the board either.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen the board. We have one of the little portable bowls that it's collapsible. Push them together and pull them apart.
Yeah.
And has a
Yeah.
carabiner on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are always good to have too, just in case.
Mhm.
I mean, depends on lessons. I mean, we're out for an hour and it's just learning. But once you paddleboard for yourself with your dog a lot, it's kind of good to kind of invest in things like that.
Yeah. I see a lot more potential about growing and stuff like that for you with the whole dog thing and gear or just all these little other things, right? When someone wants to paddle by themselves for a longer period of time,
Yeah, and like so I'm working on Life Vests, on dog Life Vests, but with COVID and trade and trying to get something from another country right now is just so hard. But ideally, like I love rough wear. I do love them, but that's what Jack's wearing. But I really want to find a solid Life Vest that's not as pricey, that I can offer my customers. And then I do dog hats. I know I probably should put Jack in one. And just having, and then by law in California, the paddle makes the board a boat. And on every boat, you have to have a life vest. So as a human, you have to have a life vest either on yourself or on the board.
Yes.
And a lot of the rental companies will just put the life vest on the board. But I've had so many dogs bite at it, don't know what it is. It gets in their way. They trip over it. So in all of my lessons, every human gets a weight. Every human that knows how to swim gets a waist PFD.
Okay.
So there's a new company, I forget their name, but I just purchased some really cool, unique, compact waist PFDs. So kind of offering maybe something with that where it's like, and I like to set people up for success.
Yeah.
So you've done a lesson with me, you fall in love. Okay, I'll try my best. I can help you find a board that would be good for you. And then, and then through this rental company that I partner with, they also own a warehouse. So I partnered with them where, now you're a SUP Pup member, you get 10% off when you go to this store. And they have the paddle, the life vest, they have new boards if you need, and set you all up. And then, you bought a board? Hey, I'll teach you how, as like a woman, to pick it up onto your head and put it onto your car, how to strap it, how to do everything to get you comfortable.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice service.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Service. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
Thank you.
You had me thinking about something else. I'm probably going to pick your brain about it because I want to that company, that waste,
yeah.
What company that is.
In my car. I could definitely text it to you. It's like, it starts with an M. They're new. It's Onyx. Onyx was the old ones I used to use. They fell apart. This one's really cool. They're really small and compact.
Nice.
So I'll definitely get you that information.
Yeah.
On who they are. Yeah.
Cool. Where do people? How do people find you?
So if you Google paddleboard dog tippet, I'm kind of one of the top, which is really cool. People find me on Instagram mainly. It's a lot of Instagram, Facebook, and then kind of in San Diego through these just like different Facebook groups, word of mouth, and hopefully, I'm hoping by August I have that virtual lesson up online. Perfect. And then I also, back burner, would love to, because I get so many paddleboard instructors.
Yeah.
Hey, I would love to teach people how to paddleboard dogs. So through my virtual lesson, then I'm going to add on to that,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to develop a SUP Pups certification course.
Cool. That's
where
so cool.
I can certify you to become an instructor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe help you with, because you also have to have insurance.
Yep.
You know, kind of set you up with some good insurance and kind of like an affiliate program almost. So
that's great.
Get all the dogs all on the water. That is the goal.
Yeah, and so much room for growth and stuff, you know, and I mean, for, you know, us, we can kind of collaborate back and forth and, you know, fuel our passion.
Yeah. And then we could do, I always want to do like SUP yoga.
Oh, yeah?
Yoga classes with dogs.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jack,
that's so cool. Jack.
Jack, come here.
Jax, come say hi.
Say hi. Jack, come here. Jack, come here. Hey, can we sit?
What kind of dog is Jack? Oh, that is so cute. Look at him.
He's a lab mix of some sort. He's 13. So yes, old dogs can paddleboard. You can teach an old dog new tricks. Oh. And I call him a dingo. I think he's still asleep.
He's still sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I thank you so much for reaching out. This has been so amazing.
Yeah, this has been so fun. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on the show. And you know, always welcome to come back and do another one, of course.
I would love that. Yeah, maybe I would love to, maybe my friend Dana, once she gets back in San Diego, maybe her and I can come on together and kind of give, like, you know, the whole tips of yoga, then how to maybe do it with your dog.
Oh, perfect.
Do a whole yoga dog kind of episode.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Yeah.
That's the show. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Sam, for sharing your journey, your story, and the dogs, and all that you do for even the rescues out there. Thanks so much. Thanks for subscribing. And we've got more coming down the pipeline coming up for the show. And I'm excited to have it. So again, thank you. And be sure to check out lunamoonsupyoga.com.